Welcome to Empowerment Sunday, all. Welcome wherever you're watching from. How are you doing? Happy New Week. I wanted to engage with you for a few minutes on our Empowerment Sunday with Remi. As a young lady growing up as a mother, growing up as a professional, growing up as a daughter, as a wife, as a community leader, I always wondered, in addition to Sunday being very sacred for those of us who do get the opportunity to worship on Sunday, there's something special about Sunday that enables everyone to reset and look forward to a new week. And I used to wonder, why is it so important? But as I got older, wiser, more knowledgeable, also doing other things in life, I realized that it is not an accident that a Sunday was created. When you look back at your week, no matter how well planned your goals and all of the things that you want to do are, you will clearly agree with me that everything you wanted will not always be exactly the way you want it. If you think that I've said anything that you disagree with, you can put it in the chat box. What are those things that you wish to do? No matter how much you wanted to finish the past week, you will still have a need to say, "Oh, I wish I did this." So thank God for Sunday. Sunday is an opportunity for you to reset, to get yourself ready for a new week. I remember being a young mother, a corporate mother, a wife, and of course, my husband and I were raising our three beautiful children, and just being able to adjust from being a corporate professional to a mother and now to balance my career was always something that I wondered, how in the world did we get that done? Because now, at a hindsight, sitting back and thinking, it looked like that was a mighty tall order. And when I sit back and look at what and how was it done, I remember Sunday was always very special to me. Sunday was a day that I would start my day, of course, in church, engaged in so many things in my parish as a leader who was always involved. Still had to balance the home and all that. But all in all, you see that you can find some time to squeeze out of that busy Sunday because you already know that it is the beginning of a new week. And that new week means that it's going to begin with you getting ready for you going to work as a corporate professional. I had to show up every day looking professional. So I couldn't just have an easy day to say, oh, I'm working remotely or I can't look my car because I don't know who that client will be that I have to engage with. And I don't know what meeting will be called when I'm at work. So I had to make sure I was ready. On top of that, had to make sure the kids were ready with my husband. Of course, both of us took turns to ensure that how did we get ready? To ensure that we laid their clothes out, to get the ironing done. Of course, I live in a country where you kind of do it yourself. There's no opportunity to lean on any support staff because that's not the way the United States of America is built. But other nations enjoy the privilege, and of course, hats off to those who enjoy the privilege of having support staff. I didn't. We didn't in my neck of the woods, and we had to make sure we got ready. But Sunday was very significant because that was the day I knew that right after church, the clothes were going to be laid out. My clothes will be laid out, ironed. The kids' clothes will be laid out, all ironed, ready to go. When they were not in uniform, those clothes had to be ironed. When they started wearing uniform, the clothes too had to be ironed. And of course, we'll get ready, the food and all of those things. The food preparation will start from Saturday so that all week, Sunday allowed you to prepare in every ramification for the week. And then got into a week whereby, as a professional, you should have itemized goals that you want to achieve. I was so detailed to my own setting myself for the next week. After the home fund was taken care of, I will now sit back in my private corner because remember, I'm the only one employed by my employer. I'm the only one that knew the magnitude of the work that was ahead of me for the week. So when the work for the home front and the joint family work was done, I had to set myself apart to be able to look at what exactly is ahead of me. What are those meetings? It was not the good old days now that you can put everything on your calendar. I remember I had to manually put it in, write it in, and I was not one of those. Tech is still not, but thank God for Google Calendar and all the great stuff. But when I was talking about this, we didn't have all of that, but you still had to plan. You had to write the to-dos, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or how many you have, and you crossed it out. I still do it now. I guess it's just a habit that once you have a habit, it stays with you. So what am I saying? You've got to do to balance. You've got to do the chores that are priority. And when you ask me what other priority, of course, God Almighty, for sure. And then my family in that order. And then, of course, work and what comprises of not just work that I got paid to do, community work, that engagement to volunteer at a church, that engagement to volunteer at other places where I can also offer my professional services to those who might be in the room. But it's still all you. But guess what? It's all possible. That's why Sunday is so distinguished. You just have to have your frame of mind that you've got the control of setting your week. And that trust mindset of you knowing that you have the control has to start with you. You cannot think of your week and think of, oh my God, how am I going to get through this? That's not the mindset you want. I know it's easier said than done, but trust me, I've done it. It's easier said than done. You just have to understand that you can do it. And you start a little at a time. Yes, you might not be one of those who want to get your clothes ready for the week. Fine. If that's not you, I definitely don't have any problems with that. That is why, and if you are, and you're saying, how do I get it done? You need to join the Bridge to Freedom. The Bridge to Freedom is a program that we have designed to ensure that we know that possibilities are endless, that wherever, whoever, and whatever we need to do, it's very possible. Possibilities are endless, very much so. You know that as an individual who know that you have all those things to do, your mother, your wife, you're a corporate professional, and you have all these other outside activities that needs to be done. You've got to plan it, and they can be done. You just have to build it, and you also have to remember you only have 24 hours in the day, just like anybody else. But how you choose to spend your 24 hours might need to be a little different. You might have to sleep less. You might have to maybe take time away. I mean, you not take time away from the family time you have. You might have to say, you know what, I don't have to be at every conversation that's not pivotal to this priority. Those conversations will come again. So for me, it was just such a sacred time and also a very special time to get myself ready for the week because I was always excited about what the week brings, what is coming ahead, those meetings, those clients that are going to show up and bring their, they're going to show up and be clients and maybe start your day with issues that they long carried for the weekend, and boom, they're coming to your desk on Monday. But when you have already planned your week, you can proactively respond to things without getting reactive, whereby your service for your customer is watered down. And when your service for your customer is watered down, you have just reduced your chances of growing with a company. And in my case, I wanted to grow with the company. So I was committed and determined to do everything within my power. Because remember, I'm vice president. So you can't be a lackadaisical staff to get there. And I knew I had the four strikes, like I told you all before, Black with a Nigerian accent. And I knew that didn't matter. What mattered is the work that I can offer to the people. So once you get this done and you know that the week is started, it will be a lot easier to swing into a week in a proactive way when you have prepared yourself, when you have planned yourself, not when in the morning you're now rushing, trying to figure, what am I going to wear? What are my kids going to wear? That tension, guys, is going to be too much. That tension is going to set your mood in a negative mood, whereby you walk into your office, you're already stressed and tired. Of course, you will still be tired, but not on the mundane things, on things that you could have prepared for. I always tried my best to reduce my own anxiety because I don't know what the future of my day would bring. I don't know who the client is that is going to be my destiny changer, who will bring the results that I need, that I have to receive in a positive mode. So, guys, Sunday empowerment is going to be all about the nuggets. So if you're thinking, I cannot do it alone, I want to be part of a community and get this done. Join the Bridge to Freedom. The link is up there. Join the Bridge to Freedom. Join the opportunity also to be in to get the interest session, which is about 15 minutes of my time that we can talk. We're only looking for 200 people, guys, in the Reach to Freedom program community on Facebook. After the 200, then we're going to stop at that and begin to walk with those people. And I know you're thinking, how can you walk with 200 people? It's not going to be all Remi. You're going to get like-minded people who understand that it takes a village for us to help each other to pivot and to get to that next level. So ask someone who knows that Sunday is a reset button. Sunday is not the time to be reminiscing and thinking, oh, this is what I should have done, I should have, I should have. You better make sure that all the should have end on Saturday. And when your Sunday comes, after you've done whatever your religious practice is or whatever way you celebrate your Sunday, you better take a few moments of you to kind of think through what is your week going to be. Remember, empowerment is when you know you have the control, you have the ability, the enablement to make a change, to be in charge. And that's what you want to do. You want to set your week ahead so that you take charge of your week. And when you take charge of something, that means you bring positivity out of it. The only essence why people like to be in the know for everything, they want to make sure everything works well. So when you plan your week, guys, when you plan that week, it's going to work well. It won't be easy. It's going to take practice. It's going to take you trying here and there and saying, you know what, Remi said, iron the clothes for the kids all week. I don't want to iron my kids' clothes. I want to just take it to the cleaners. Or I want to do it on a Friday. Whatever works for you. What I did is what I'm saying. Because my Saturday was loaded by the time I'm going from one wedding, one birthday to the other, baby shower, activities that are also communia. My friends are having celebrations. I can't just say that I'm always going to be about work and my family. There are other things that are important. So Saturday was designated for that most of the time. But that Sunday, guys, once I'm back from church, laying out the clothes and ironing and making sure that, of course, the homework, when we didn't have people who would help with the kids' homework for specific courses, that needs to be checked to make sure everything is done. You cannot leave the checking of the homework to your children. That's why they're underage. They're underage. They're still under our supervision. So you cannot be too busy for that. So all of those things can be done. You just have to prepare it. And writing it down will never hurt. Writing it down, and of course, crossing it out makes me feel good when I'm able to cross those iron check. Those pulled out check. Remi's clothes iron check. Now I know I'm ready for the week. Of course, my readiness doesn't mean that I'm going to meet all of what I expect. No. But guess what I'm doing? I'm trying to reduce the pressure that will come that could have been avoided. Because I don't know what the week is going to come. I just claim that it's going to be a glorious week that would not disrupt and rock my boat. But I've got to do my part to ensure that the little stuff that I have to do, I do timely so that my week can be exciting. Then I can walk into my office in a very happy mood. Nobody ever likes to go to work, but at least you are staying there for 8 to 10 hours of your day. You better love it and embrace the people there. And what you give, the energy you give that you dish out is what's going to set the tone for your week. So I'm challenging you, set your attitude, set your tone for positivity. Yes, are there going to be times that your first client is going to be that client from another planet that you wish, why this? Hey, it is what it is. I've shared some scenarios with you. When I was in corporate America, I was in the retail banking at the start of my career when I moved from being a teller to being an assistant manager and all that good stuff. I would still serve clients who came in. And sometimes you don't know what mood they're in, but you've got to control your own mood because your clients pay your salary. They are in charge. They are in charge. When you come with that mindset, even when they're coming with a little not too friendly attitude, you check yourself. I've had clients tell me stuff that I didn't really deserve to hear, and tears rolled down because I could give them the answers I wanted, but I would look over to the pictures of my baby, and I would say to myself in my own breath, like, "Whoa, still has ways to go before this baby's become 18." So I had to hold my breath, and I would just quietly hold my breath. And I remember one scenario when the client came, was angry, called me all the names in the world. I don't want to repeat that. But I knew immediately that it wasn't about me. I knew that this individual must have gotten on the wrong side of the bed, but it takes you getting ready for the day to be able to react responsibly to things that would come and rock the boat. And then, of course, the person went off because they had some refund that they needed and so forth. And they just took it all out of me before I even opened my mouth. They called me every name and told me where I belonged. And I stood there with tears rolling my eyes. And my associates saw what was going on and they came. My friend Lorraine Petaway, I could never forget her. She came to my rescue and I'm the manager. She came over and she just leaned over and the person did what they did and they left. So they took me to the back and kind of calmed me down. I'm still there wondering, what did I do? I didn't do anything to this person. And before I could blink, they left me in the back to, shake it out, Remi, come on out. So they left me in the back to kind of get my makeup, powder my nose, and look pretty again to work. And before I could do all of that, Lorraine came back and said, Remi, they need you outside. Then I'm thinking, who could need me again when I'm still trying to get over this? Guess what? It was the same client who just cussed me out. And he said to me, he said, I'm sorry. I had a bad day. I just left the house. I had a bad day with this person. And you were the first person. I'm so sorry you didn't deserve this. And they kept on telling me how they have watched me growing, doing my work as the teller. Now I'm on this and that. And that they were sorry. So can you imagine if I came in an agitated way and I had my day not all set out and just having a mindset to say, I'm going to take control of my day, I'm going to empower myself. I won't let any client get angry and rub it on me because you can lose your job. And he said he was sorry, and I just looked over, and of course, I accepted the apologies. And I just said to myself, I said, thank God that I did not do an eye for an eye. I did not go after this individual and tell them where they belong because I really wanted to do that because there was no need for me to be cussed out. So I had to bite my tongue and looked over to my right where the pictures of my kids were. And I said, this kids still have ways to go. And I know it would take my husband and I to support them, to give them the best that we have dreamt to give. So I can't be prematurely terminated. Can you imagine if I had told him where he belonged when he started doing what he did? Somebody would have seen what I was doing to him. They didn't see what he did to me. By the time he came back, I could have been fired because a customer would have called that, look at your manager doing ABCD. Why am I saying this? Empowerment is just you understanding that there are things that you can control, and your empowerment of yourself to be grounded when somebody is picking on you is very important. That is even one of the greatest skill. That is the greatest power you have. The power of yourself to restrain yourself. The power of emotional intelligence. One of these days, we're going to talk about that to let you know, listen, don't let someone who didn't know how you got somewhere just show up like that, get you roughed off, roughened, and you just open your mouth, boom, and say things that are not pleasant and make you miss your destiny. If I had dared to let this person know where they belong, like I said, I wouldn't have a job because I know that. I know the bank I work for, I will be gone. After that, many myriad of promotions till I even made it to vice president. That lesson stood to me till today. That lesson. So when you see me just sitting and looking, it doesn't mean that I don't have any sense in my head. Because sometimes they say that silence is the best answer for FOOL. Eh, that is for sure. You do not need to show your animalistic self to anybody. Your Sunday, you're sitting back for maybe 30 minutes to kind of, after you've done your chores, I didn't say don't do your chores, you do your chores first. But when I've done my chores of getting myself ready, my kids ready, my family ready, I don't feel guilty. I feel like I have things in order of priority. When I've gotten my kids ready so we can run to church and do our service and go for a few basketball game there and there, I know when I come back, we're going to finish the ironing, the cooking, and then my ironing, and then of course, my Remi moment to set my stage for my week. So are you there setting yourself ready for the week? That's why you have Sunday, guys. It's not meant for you to be thinking of what you shouldn't have done and then carry that weight to the new week. There's a reason why it's a reset to start a new week. Absolutely, there's a reason. It's a day that for those of us who are religious faith, takes to fellowship with brethren. So you leave there all excited, all energized, we're charged up by our pastors and ministers, or whatever your faith is. You go there, you reminisce and use that Sunday to recharge. So part of the recharging is ensuring that you get ready for the new week. And that when that situation is coming to you, unfolding it in your sight, you don't get angry quickly and miss out on opportunities that will be yours. So a lot of people can say, oh, Remi, we're sorry, da 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 da. Well, you really handled it well. Of course I had to handle it well. I knew what my mission was. There was no other mission than to make sure that I'm part of the support system to ensure we give our children the best of anything we know better. And it starts with you having income, right? Because I didn't inherit anything that I would say, okay, if I don't work, I can give. So I had to make sure that I went through that challenge. So Empowerment Sunday, the nuggets that I want you to take out as I close is number one, to know that Sunday is an opportunity for you to reset for a new week. And what is part of the reset? Your preparation, preparing for the new week. Preparing comes in terms of course, if you're faith, starting your day where you want it to start, or just having your meditation moment. If you don't have any place that you join and fellowship, you start with your meditation to be able to at least understand and give gratitude to someone that's greater than you. When that's done, if you also have if you're one of those who have the CYO, the Catholic Youth Organization, then we have to run to the basketball game. We've got to run to the football game, the soccer game, and the ballet and all that. All of those things, they do it well. It's not in the night. It's usually during the day. Make sure you get it all lined up. That's part of your agenda. You make your agenda comprehensive that includes what you need to do for you to be able to give you to others who are relying on you. Because if you're not together, you will put your frustration on others. If I don't get my own clothes ready and make sure that I'm ready to look the way I want to look, that pressure is going to get on my kids when they are getting ready. I won't even have time to get them ready because I will be all anxious about how I look. But because of the fact that our young leaders, our children didn't ask to be born, they've got to be part of the process. They've got to be part of our planning. And we've got to have a work-life balance. So this empowerment Sunday is going to help you. And joining Reach to Freedom will even help you greater because you can have specific scenarios that you want to run by us and then to make sure that you get tips from others who also have been there, done it, who can say, you know what? Yes, it can be done. This is how I did it. When somebody gives you example of what they have done, not what they Google, it's a little different. That's a little special because they've done a little something that makes them to know that it can be done. Same here. Done it and knows that it can be done. Does it take work? Yes, it does take work. But do you have the ability to get the work done? Yes, you do. You do. It's just going to be on how you plan your time. How do you manage the activities within your time that you have allotted to you? The management of those activities. Because I don't believe that anybody can manage time. It's, you only have 24 hours in a day. So there's no way you can add to it or take away from it. I believe that the activities within those time frames can be managed in a way that you prioritize. I believe that those activities that are part of the day can be set in a way that you still get a lot of things done. It might mean, oh, maybe you're sleeping 6 hours. You might need to cut it to 5 hours. Hey, again, maybe you might need to find out, get a piece of paper, make a list of what do you do from the time you wake up when you start your exercise or your meditation time. Put what do you do and how many minutes do you spend in each of them. If you look at that, do it for a few days. Wherever you see your time and add all those time together. Don't even get sophisticated and go on the computer. Just write it down. How many minutes are you spending for meditation? How many minutes are you spending for exercise? How many minutes are you spending for your makeup? For whatever you think is important to make you you? How many times? Then when you look at those activities all day from when you wake up to when you sleep, that's going to let you know where your priorities are. And if you know that that's not what you're designed to be your priority, guys, then you need to change it up. Guess who has the power to do it? You. You and I talking. We have the power to do a lot of things, but we quickly relinquish our powers to others. Others can never understand the power you carry. You are the only one that can figure it out. And figure it out, you will. And then you can do it. Execution, doing it. And then, of course, failing forward and doing it and restarting and looking at what are other people doing. This would work for you. Guys, join the Bridge to Freedom. We also have a special session on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then, of course, on Thursday, we have the coaching time with Remi. So if this sounds interesting to you, please join us. It's a movement to help us pivot, a movement to help us understand that we can be much more than what we are. But it takes a system, it takes a plan, and we've got the plan to work together. And so will you when you work with us. I thank you so much. It is Sunday. I know you are still out there trying to finish one or two things. Set some time aside. If you listen to this video, set it aside and try what I've done, what I've said to you. If it works for you, drop us some comments. If it didn't, drop us comments too. If you don't want to join the group and whatever you've heard us say works for you, let us know. Let us know. So when we know, we can share it more. And you can share the video. Please do share the videos. If you hook up with us on YouTube, on LinkedIn, or Facebook, share the video. This is not just about one person. This is about all of us finding ways to be better human beings that can help us take advantage of the greatness we have within. Because all of us can be successful. There's no one that's designed better for success than the other. All of us are equally created. That's why it's done so beautifully that we all have 24 hours in a day. I don't care what planet you live on. I don't care what nation you live. It's 24 hours. You might be 6 hours ahead, 3 hours ahead. It's still all going to come back to the 24 hours. So because of that, there's equality of time access. How you now spend it is up to you. So, guys, thank you for watching. Share this video, and I look forward to you joining again, if your time permits, on Tuesday, 11 to 11:30, Thursday, 11 to 11:30, and on Sunday, it's Empowerment Sunday. You could pretty much do at whatever time, but all of these are recorded, so you can always listen to it. Thank you so much for joining. God bless you. Happy New Week.